Hello, everybody. This is Gloria Fruit with Telco, your host for today. Today's webinar is about MySecure Messaging and what's new, and it's going to be presented by Colleen Curtin, who is the awesome product manager for MySecure. This webinar is being recorded, and we will send it out once we have it converted. We are muting this, so if we could hold all questions till the end, and please send the questions via the chat window in the GoToMeeting, and then we will again answer the questions at the end of the webinar. So with that, Colleen, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Gloria, so much, and thank you everybody for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to again, take time to see what's new with miSecureMessages. And it's a great time to do so because things are really evolving at a fast pace. So moving to our agenda, if I can get the screen to advance here. There we go. I thought we'd start with a brief overview of miSecureMessages components. I believe our audience has a pretty good grasp on the product, but we'll spend a little bit of time on that as well as where the documentation lives and the marketing materials. And then we'll go over what was in our previous release that's still making waves right now, good ones, as well as what will be released within 1 to 2 months already in our server version number 6.7. A lot of great features to be introduced. And then another subject that I thought I'd try to squeeze in here is leveraging miSecureMessages with IS and touching a little bit upon that because it is a very timely subject and there's so much opportunity there. And that's an area that's really evolving very quickly right now as well. So welcome everybody and thank you again. Like Gloria said, if you have any questions, feel free to submit them to her through the GoToMeeting chat window, and that way we don't accidentally get feedback and static and hold music during our webinar. So a little bit of an overview about miSecureMessages. As we saw on the beginning slide, it's a two-way secure text messaging as well as pager replacement. For all types of organizations, it is HIPAA compliant for healthcare organizations. It uses secure technology that's expected and proven now on smartphone devices that just about everybody is carrying around now. What it's going to do for your organization is save you time and protect your organization. If you have clients or users who are utilizing miSecureMessages, it's going to protect them as well. There are a lot of fines and penalties that can come at the expense of, especially nowadays, not communicating about sensitive information in a way that is encrypted and secure. Not only can it be a secure way to text and quote unquote page your clients / employees and staff, but you can offer it as a reliable method of internal communications for them as well. And off to the right here, you can see the different components that we have. We have the admin web application, and we've expanded access with that to be able to extend controlled access to your staff and or clients to give them some responsibilities that they may want or you may want them to be able to have, such as being able to log in and run reports. The Contact Web application, that's a web version of the mobile app. Anybody who is a miSecureMessages contact may utilize this Contact Web application, and it'll be synchronous with their mobile app if they do have one. The mobile app can be used across Android as well as Apple devices. This includes other flavors of Android devices as well, typically, such as Zebra devices, the Android-based Blackberries that I think are still around, and other types of devices as well. in addition to the browser. You could technically launch that from your mobile app as well. But you'll receive the push notifications when you are utilizing the mobile app downloaded from the Google Play Store or from the App Store if you're an Apple user. Other options with miSecureMessages that we'll kind of go over at the end here, we were talking about a little bit earlier, integration options, especially with IS, optional features. There is an API for miSecureMessages available. It's a RESTful web API. So know that we do have that, especially as you're looking to integrate possibly with other solutions. Middleware and automated workflow, I call it perfection. So making that workflow as seamless as possible, we can also help with that. So miSecureMessages, you might notice that we have a new logo. Since we're talking about the new version that's going to be released in just a month or two, this is the new logo that you're going to see with it. So a nice update along with all of the nice feature updates that we are going to put out in our next server version available for you to use. Some benefits of miSecureMessages, what really makes it stand apart, it's immediate. And you're going to receive those messages and those push notifications via miSecureMessages within milliseconds. And that's because we're using push technology because it natively integrates with your system. If you're an Intelco system user, we're using that push technology with that as well. In addition to wherever you're sending that secure message from, it's going to get pushed to the user. Instead of polling, which just simple way to explain that is it just checks for messages every so often, and then we'll update your view with that new message when it has the chance to check and update for them. And that might happen every 5 seconds, and that might be well and good. But in some cases, milliseconds really matter, and they can really affect your overall effect, how you accomplish things in your organization and how things turn out, the outcomes. Especially when you take into account that honestly, most messages that are read and replied to via miSecureMessages are done so within our, I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my words, are done within milliseconds themselves. So what I was trying to say is that users are going to receive as well as typically reply to that message within milliseconds. So when we're talking about milliseconds, that really, really is relevant. It's reliable. Again, you're going to get that immediate push notification and message. You're also going to be able to see all of that tracking. The secure HIPAA compliance we've talked about, it can be used for critical pages as well as that peer-to-peer messaging. Critical pages, again, obviously you're receiving that immediate message. This is used for code calls, for example, STEMI alerts. It has to work when life-threatening situations are taking place. And that also carries over really well to other industries as well. Why wouldn't you want to get those alerts right away and be able to reply to them and get that information back to the sender right away? It only helps your business, no matter what the industry is. So the miSecureMessages app could persistently alert a user every, for example, 15 seconds, just as a pager would until they acknowledge/read that message. It could also behave more like a text messaging or chat app if an organization or client has that type of purpose. And that can be configured on a per user basis. So if I receive messages that aren't really urgent per se, I could set my max notification attempts to, for example, 2 or 1, and not have that persistent alert going off beeping at me every 10 seconds for my particular job, for instance. And then for those who do need that critical page, it will behave that way for them as well. Again, configured on a per user basis. I have a note at the bottom of this page that some of these features, the ones in green that I've got here, do require integration with Intelligent Series with CBA. And we'll go over that a little bit later in the presentation as well when we're talking about leveraging IS. But just to let you know right up front that these capabilities are possible with miSecureMessages. It just means that you need to use the extra intelligence of your system to be able to feed it that information and that custom information. And oftentimes, that information that you've worked so hard on compiling, and that may be a lot of aggregate data and comprehensive scheduling and contact information. miSecureMessages can leverage that, as well as any what we're calling on this slide message templates, which if you're an Amtelco customer, you might know as IS scripts. You can leverage those and multiples of them from within the miSecureMessages app for your staff, for your clients, and it can be different what's presented and what scripts are available on a per client basis as well. On-call scheduling, that would be another function of your IS system. We do integrate with other third-party on-call scheduling systems on a case-by-case basis. It just depends on their partnership with us and their willingness. Auto forwarding, being able to select somebody else that messages are going to get sent to instead of you if, for example, you go home sick or you're on vacation, and you just need to make a change on the fly. Like I'm going home sick and I need Gloria to take all my emails for me. Any email that gets sent to me would then get sent to Gloria instead because it's intelligent enough to know, hey, Gloria is covering for Colleen, so I'm not even going to bother sending that to Colleen. She's not available. I'm going to send it straight to Gloria. So miSecureMessages can do that as well. Very helpful for your users slash clients to be able to make that change on the fly as well. An example that gets brought up quite often to us is with healthcare surgery. Obviously, surgeons, when they're in surgery, they can't be using their hands to check their phone and use their fingerprint ID and all of that. So sometimes they might auto forward messages to either somebody who's working in the OR with them that is able to do so, or a computer monitor in the OR that is quote unquote a user. A lot of great ideas, and I'm getting excited about this, but there is so much evolution happening recently and so much potential. So if you have any thoughts or ideas or any questions about what miSecureMessages can do, let us know. We would really, really be happy to answer those questions and brainstorm with you. And when you're leveraging IS, miSecureMessages can become an enterprise secure access hub. So again, all of that information that you've worked so hard on compiling and setting up and all of the escalation rules to make your system be this crazy intelligent brain behind your organization, you can leverage with miSecureMessages and present users with the information that's most important to them. It's all going to be permission-based since it's coming from IS. And the information that they see is going to be specific to them since it's coming from IS. Furthermore, they now have new personalization options with IS and their web module that they utilize. So they have this whole homepage that they can customize and drag and drop with information that's pertinent to them that they would like to see on their homepage or dashboard right when they log in. And again, all of that information can be made accessible straight from the miSecureMessages menu, individual links straight to the information that they want to see, or one big link to that all-encompassing directory, for example. You have a lot of options here. So let those gears start turning, and again, reach out to us with any questions that you might have. Some differentiators when it comes to miSecureMessages. It integrates with your Amtelco system. We've been talking about that, as well as the optional features and add-on modules. We only provide you with what you and your clients will need, as well as additional settings to further enhance. But what I'm saying is we don't say, yes, you must buy the whole kit and caboodle and offer all of these modules, whether or not you have plans to use them down the road or not. So just know that we do have optional features and add-ons depending on what you're looking to do. This software, as always, is developed by and maintained by a partner that you can rely on and trust, Amtelco. So all of our development is done in-house based on your input and as well as our awesome developers looking towards the future and what your needs probably will be. In-house support 24/7, 365. We don't outsource that. And our technicians have an average tenure of, I believe it's 15 years right now. So a lot of experience and ready to help you at a moment's notice. The upgrades are included with your partnership as well as all the resources, documentation. We will even market your organization, your partnership with us for free on our miSecureMessages website. And if we're not doing so already, just let us know and send us over your logo. We have our own internal security team as well as third-party security teams that we regularly consult with. We perform audits and certifications, and if you're a hosted customer, our contracted hosted data center is SOC 3 certified, which is the highest it can be. We take security very seriously, and for that reason, we're probably one of the only apps that doesn't store the message data on the device. And that makes a huge impact not only with the security folks in the organization, but also with the end user's workflow if they do, for instance, misplace their device or it gets stolen, either temporarily or permanently, and you have to deal with the consequences of that. That can be a really scary thing. Um, so if you don't have all that patient information living on the device, wow, that can make the whole situation so much better. And it makes it so much easier to handle that situation. I have a tendency to want to explain it all, but I won't get into that. Our trainers can talk about how that's done as well as our documentation. And if you have any questions, we can discuss them at the end as well. Moving on, in interest of time, the 6.6 release. So what was released last year, but some customers are still finding out about and learning that, hey, I can take advantage of this today in my organization. I'm on this version, or I can get upgraded to this version tomorrow. If you're not on this version yet, let us know. Email registration. So you do need to have a mail server to configure this, but email registration was introduced with server version 6.6, and it's HTML based and customizable on a per group basis. So you could put your organization's logo, your client's logo into emails that are sent out to the users asking them to tap here to register your miSecureMessages app. And in doing so, you're no longer, if you've been a miSecureMessages customer for a while, telling them, step one, download the app. Step two, enter in license key, blah, 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 9 strings of characters and letters. And then step three, make sure you enter your login credentials correctly, etc. This takes out a lot of those steps. And basically, all they'll need to do is have the miSecureMessages app, which could be remotely placed on their phone by MDM software if your organization has that. And MDM software is mobile device management software, if there's anyone who's not familiar with it. And otherwise, it'll prompt them to download the miSecureMessages app. But then all they need to do from the email is tap on a link, and it's going to launch the miSecure app and say, update your password. And then that's it. They're in the app. They've got their list of contacts. They didn't need to enter a license key, account ID, login, etc. So it saved you and your client a lot of time and a lot of energy. And that was our goal, and our overall goal with last year's release is to really focus on the admin and how can we make your lives easier? How can we make this a tool that's easier for you to manage, as well as in turn for your users, right? So here are just some more email screens just showing how this is customizable, and you can make these emails say whatever you would like and look however you would like for your different sets of users. We've got inserts, so you could even say hello display name, or hello, and your username, by the way, is blah. You can insert that as well. So really trying to make it easy for you. We introduced the concept too of a personal circle. So in the miSecureMessages app, instead of just having a straight A to Z list of contacts, we have what we call circles, and that's a way just to visually organize that list of contacts for the users, as well as a way to quickly message groups of users or sets of users, as well as locate them. So you can see here we've got a circle called cardiology, emergency. People can belong to more than one circle. I could tap an emergency and it would select all of these people. Hit the compose button, just a real easy way to initiate a message to the people you need to get it to. The star at the bottom indicates my favorites list or my personal circle. I lean towards calling it my favorite circle, but the truth of the matter is you can label it whatever you would like for your users. So it could be called my favorites or my personal circle. We really try to keep that customization open to you. And then the end user can edit their personal circle and choose who they need in it. Who are the people that they message the most? Who are their BFFs? They can have their own little personal circle of those people. We also introduced the fingerprint and touch ID. And if you have the iPhone X, the Face ID. So this is available, and how that gets set up, you must have a passcode set. So you can't just go to the toggle and flip on the Touch ID. And the reason for that is if you're ever in the situation where your fingerprint does not work or it doesn't recognize your face for whatever reason, it needs to have a backup method to get you into the app, right? So it's got to have that passcode. But that's all you do to turn on the Touch or Face ID, saving users time getting into the app while still being secure. Password and passcode expiration options on a per group basis. We introduced a dashboard view for admins so that they can see the most important information right away when they log in, an overview of all of it. What's all happening with my miSecureMessages system? These are slider bars under here. If you log in and want to play with this, you can zero in on an area of time, even a set of hours to see what the message traffic has looked like. You can see when your peak times are, when your slow times are, as far as miSecureMessages traffic goes. And that's a per group basis as well. So if you have multiple clients or sets of users, you can really zero in on that. And then we always have our wealth of reports under the Reports tab where you're able to pull in more specific information beyond just this overview. We did an Android UI update, pretty hefty, a lot of great changes, both functional as well as visual. Here are some of them here. If you're an Android user and haven't taken a look at the miSecureMessages app in a while, this will probably look a great deal enhanced to you. We also have, for the hardware that supports it, overriding silent as well as do not disturb for Android devices. There are some older devices that don't let us override the do not disturb slash they may not have the do not disturb at that point. So Android devices do have these options, and you might be saying, well, what about Apple? Apple finally gave us developers a way to achieve this as well, and we're introducing that with our 6.7 release that's in testing right now. And that feature, named by Apple, is called Apple Critical Alerts. And so Apple users are able to, by default, have their high priority messages always override and be used as critical alerts. And there is a prompt, by the way, for the user to allow this in the first place, so don't worry. But they can have all of their high priority alerts override the silent and do not disturb as well. So there finally is a way for someone with an iPhone to go to sleep, set their phone on silent, and their miSecureMessages will still alert them. It's a big deal. So more Android screens that we updated. You'll notice that the messaging interface is a lot cleaner, more modern, crisper. I won't spend too much time on this. I'll get forward to the new stuff that's coming out very soon here. But you can see the quick phrases here as well. And on that subject, quick phrases used to be canned responses, and there were these predetermined phrases that you could use to respond to messages very quickly. Now you can use them to initiate messages as well. So when you're composing messages, you can use quick phrases. I need to see you right away, for example. And then all of the attachment and quick phrase options so that more option, bringing up this tray here instead of we had a really big box with large icons before. So again, streamlining and modernizing everything now continuously. Device menu links, we introduced the capability to put web links within your miSecureMessages app's menu drawer. The original intent was to provide a way to get at all of that important intelligence series information for app users to be able to leverage and utilize that as well. And then we thought, hey, maybe you guys want to put an area for your support contact information, for example, or whatever other type of web page. This feature became so popular that we've further enhanced it in 6.7, again, due to be released within a month or two, to have as many menu links as you want, really. I think the limit is 50 or something. But it provides you with nice direct access to, again, either IS specific links and scripts and scheduling that's all permission based. So if you're a scheduler, you can actually go in there and do actual scheduling. Again, directly to intelligent message forms and templates that are going to take into account how to get a hold of somebody behind the scenes. And then, of course, whatever other internet pages that you deem important for your users or clients. And that's customizable on a per group basis as well. And then we further advanced the Apple Watch app's integration with miSecureMessages. So actually being able to interact with those messages, not just receiving the notification on your Apple Watch, but also being able to read the message as well as reply to it from your Apple Watch. That's currently available. Does require iOS 12 or above, and it does require MSM 6.6, of course, that we're talking about right now. More enhancements always coming. Let us know what you're looking for. Let us know what your users are looking for. We want to make them happy. Moving on to the 6.7 release. This is currently in testing. If you're interested in becoming a part of our beta test program, we do have an mTelco beta test team comprised of our customers and partners that get to see firsthand before anybody else what's coming next with the new release. And they can do so on a test server. It doesn't have to be on production. And check out the new apps and the new server releases. Give us feedback. Use it in ways that we perhaps might not, even through our extremely extensive internal testing, I apologize, and as well as be a help to the process too. If you're interested in being a part of that team, let us know. Very soon, miSecureMessages server version 6.7 will be ready for beta testers to start playing with. The major features that we're rolling out with server version 6.7 are the ability to create more message type options. So by default, when you're creating a message in miSecureMessages, it's a reply all message. So if you're sending it to more than one person, by default, those people are going to be able to reply all to that conversation. It still will prompt them, do you want this reply just to go to the sender? Do you want it to reply all, etc.? But it still technically will allow them to reply all, unless you have a server setting a threshold at a very low level, for example. So we introduced the capability to, when you're composing a message, create a message type that does not allow for a reply, as well as a message type that only allows for them to reply to the sender. That's both from the web as well as from the mobile app. So by default, again, it'll do reply all and it'll still prompt the recipient of that message when they're trying to reply all, hey, do you really want this to go to everybody? But if you're composing a message that you know for sure nobody should be replying to this, or I don't want everybody replying all and bugging each other, you have the ability to set up an announcement or some type of message to your user base, for example, letting them know about something, but then not letting them reply to everybody or not letting them reply at all. They'll still be able to see who the message was sent from, though, as well as obviously any text that you have in the message, including potentially a callback number. So, a lot of options there for how it can be leveraged. High priority sounds, picking and determining a specific sound from the miSecureMessages app sound library for high priority messages. So you can have a different sound for normal messages versus high priority messages. And again, just a reminder that the library of sounds within miSecureMessages is specific to the miSecureMessages app so that you know that it's a message coming from miSecureMessages versus your text messaging application, your email application, your WhatsApp, your whatever. So being able to set a high priority sound, and that is on a per message basis. Obviously, per user, they can set those sounds, but not even on a per thread basis. That's a per message basis. So again, if you're talking about a patient and the conversation is going normal, it's going fine, and then whoop, something high priority comes up with that patient, that specific message can be a high priority message with a high priority sound, even if the thread originally wasn't. SMS escalation. This does require an integration with Infinite Convergence, and they are a third party SMS vendor that we can integrate with very easily. They've also proven themselves to be very reliable and enterprise friendly, um, especially when you're talking about more than a piddly amount of SMS text messages. And they're the ones that we would really recommend. So you would purchase an account with Infinite Convergence, and we would hook up to that account to be able to send SMS text messages as an escalation for if someone hasn't read their MySecure message within X amount of time. Now, before people's heads pop off, the SMS escalation will be a generic message saying, we sent a secure message to you, but you didn't read it yet. Here are some instructions for what you should do. And that could be to call a number, that could be to log into their web when they get a chance, etc. But the reason being for the SMS escalation primarily is because there are some cases where we get into areas where we don't have internet or data coverage, but we're still able to get phone calls or SMS text messages. So those are still able to get through to us through our analog cellular signal, but we can't really do anything internet based. So in that scenario where somebody doesn't have internet at that moment, you're able to say if they don't read the message, and this includes peer-to-peer messaging as well and can be set up on a per group basis, if they don't read the message within 1 minute, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, you decide, send them this text message. And when I say this is customizable. This is just one I created for this webinar and for this demo, but what this says, as well as a phone number, if any, is fully configurable by you. It will also be sent automatically. So it's always good to have a plan B, and we add one directly into miSecureMessages. So that's even with the standalone miSecureMessages without IS. With IS, you may already have some sort of SMS escalation built in, and this could further enhance upon it by including peer-to-peer SMS escalation as well. Custom away messages for the offsetting. So being able to set a more detailed away message when you set yourself to off in the miSecureMessages app. And then it could either start right away or at some point predetermined in the future, as well as with a predetermined end time. The admin can still go in and tweak that. Let's say if they put a silly end time, you can go in and adjust that for the user still, just as you can currently do for the offsetting if they were to forget to take themselves off of off. But now, hopefully they won't, and it'll automatically revert them to being on at the end of their away time that they have designated and set up. Personal quick phrases. So admins were able to set up all those quick phrases that users can use to initiate as well as reply to messages quickly. Just having those those phrases that they use quite often at their fingertips and not having to type them out each and every time. That can save so much time, as well as spelling errors too. So users will be able to create their own personal ones, also see the ones that you have created for them, but create their own as well. Apple critical alerts, that's overriding the silent and do not disturb for Apple devices. And that again is coming in 6.7 within the next month or two. Beta even sooner. Additional device menu links. So the ability to put all of those web links within the miSecureMessages app, expanding beyond just 2 device menu links there. With 6.7, again, I believe the limit is at least 50. We're always making security and efficiency enhancements as things continue to evolve. We've introduced integration with Spectrum. Another set of our customers, Telescan customers, have a different system than the Intelligence series or Infinity, and miSecureMessages is now able to integrate with that, as well as hosted miSecureMessages in version 6.7. Something else that we added, this is just a little thing, but an alert message to put on the admin page. Whether you're hosted or on site, you can set up your own alert message. Let's say you're going to be doing maintenance or something, or there's something you want your admins to know for whatever reason when they go to this admin page, as well as the contact web page too. You can put an alert message in there. And what it is it's an HTML container, so it's basically like a web page within a web page. Notification settings. So this is the Android app, screenshot of it, the 6.7 version. You'll notice you can turn notifications off. So similar to turning yourself off currently. However, you're going to always have an away message. By default, I believe it's I'm away. So no longer would you only see off. Beyond I'm away, they can further customize that and have predetermined away messages to choose from, as well as creating their own on the fly, in addition to setting their normal and high priority alert sounds and having different sounds for those. Some examples of setting your away message. So you might have some pre-built in here, or you could type your own. Select a start and end time and hit update. And then that away message is going to show for everybody in your contact list, as well as for the operators, just like for the off if they try to message you when you're off. So just adding functionality there. For selecting the date and end, the date and time, start and end times. This is what the user interface looks like. Very clean, very modern. Something your users will be happy to use. The reply modes, I apologize, the screen is a little blurry. I wanted to zoom in on the different reply modes and show you that by default, the reply all is selected as we talked about. This is reply to sender only, and this is no reply. So if they did want to compose a different message type, again, either from the app or from the web, they could do so. And this info button will tell them more about what these mean, as well as saying reply mode in a non-blurry screen and showing them what's selected. So we've got a little bit of time left. I'm just going to spend 5 minutes talking about what we've kind of already been talking about with regards to IS and how it can really kick your miSecureMessages app up to the next level, the next notch, take it up to extreme heights within your organization and or for your clients. So integrating miSecureMessages with your intelligence series, especially the My Team web, which is the new generation of the IS web, and it's mobile friendly and really screen friendly on any web browser that they're viewing it from and from any size. We use responsive web design with My Team Web. It also allows for each user to have a completely customized and personalized interface with all of the information that's important to them. And again, they get to drag and drop what modules and widgets they want to see right away. Maybe they're a call center supervisor and they want to see call tracking types of dashboard information and stats. Maybe they're someone who always needs to look somebody up in the directory and they want to have that widget right up there on their homepage for them. So whether they're logging into My Team Web just standalone from a computer or they're using miSecureMessages, you can put all of that My Team Web and IS power and make it accessible from within the miSecureMessages app and direct links to each little part of it that you want to make accessible to them. So, in essence, making their job easier, giving them more tools to do their job more efficiently and quicker on the fly from within this app that you're providing them with. And it can become kind of like a hub for them. All of the things that they need to have quick access to, you can give them quick access to. And a reminder that My Team Web can house other information as well. So if you need to put another web page within a web page, as we were just talking about with something else, My Team Web can kind of do that too. So you can have widgets that are coming from other places and other systems information filtering into ours. Talk with us about what you're looking to do. What would be the ideal situation for your users? What should they have access to? And we would love to work with you to make that happen. Won't spend too much time on this screen, but just again, when we're talking about miSecureMessages and how it can play in with all of these blue bubbles here are Amtelco software, but then how they can all play together within an organization, leveraging other systems that might be at play as well or other contact methods. So all of these can play together. Here's My Team Web if you haven't seen it yet. Quick little visual. This is a home page, and I've got a layout button up here that if I click on, it'll let me modify what my home page looks like. You can see I've got a bunch of different options here for what kind of data do I want to see. Agent calls, chart stations, call waits. But on my page, I have a directory search up here. On-call assignments, I need quick access to that, and I definitely need to see my status schedule right away. So this is my view, and it's personalized to me. miSecureMessages is one contact method. The enterprise directory contained within My Team Web can contain a lot of different types of contact methods and rules, groups, those intelligent message forms and templates that we were talking about, aggregate information, again, when it comes to contact information as well as scheduling, triggers, integrations, monitoring and dashboards, and more widgets and modules that can be made accessible from within My Team Web. Again, we want this to become a bit of a hub for you and your users. That's how it could be leveraged to its full extent. You could even put a weather app in here. You could put, again, third-party information as well if there's a web page that your users always need to get to. That could be housed within here as well, or accessible from within here as well. And then having that all accessible from within miSecureMessages. And just a reminder, you don't have to put one generic link to My Team Web. You can have multiple specific links, and those labels for those links are fully configurable by you. So those text labels can say, check my on-call schedule, view my patients, send a care team message, whatever you choose, whatever is going to make the most sense for your users. So just some more screens here. If you're looking to do this, let us know, and you can, when we're integrating the My Team Web into miSecureMessages, just a side note that there is a special way to hide the header so that you don't have two menu systems going on. You just tack something onto the end of the URL in the device menu. So miSecureMessages, especially when leveraged with IS, can really help with a lot of situations within an organization. Healthcare especially as well. Again, going back to life or death situations too, like code calls. Integrating with nurse call systems and the nurses getting automated nurse call notifications via miSecureMessages originating from that nurse call system. Patient consult requests, AI, automated processes, and streamlined information. And of course, when you're doing all of that, you're reducing response time, you're increasing patient satisfaction, reducing readmissions, increasing workflow efficiency. Everybody has access to the type of data that they need to see, and you're increasing the quality of care. Having that data accessible from all fronts, but again, specific data, the data that matters most to them, providing intelligent and coordinated care, and then really instilling a culture of excellence within your organization and providing that for your clients perhaps as well, providing them with an opportunity to promote that within their organization. Because when everybody's able to work efficiently and things are going great, it really makes a big difference on the outcome and your day and the kind of care someone might receive, or the type of customer service, etc., no matter what industry you're in. Telco also has an integration engine. So when we're talking about especially automated processes, we can help you with those. So if you ever have situations where if this happens, then I want this to happen, we can help with that. And maybe it's if I get a nurse call system notification, I want to look to see either static or dynamic information in my IS system and then follow a whole bunch of rules perhaps and get the message to the right person on the right device. And maybe that's via miSecureMessages, or maybe you start out with miSecureMessages and if they don't read it within a minute, it escalates to something else or to a different person. The beauty is all those rules can be built ahead of time, and it's going to do all of that legwork for you behind the scenes and automatically and give you reporting along the way. The end of your process might not be a notification to somebody, it might be an update to a system. We can help with those types of situations as well and automating those processes. It's another screen. You can read this in your free time. I'm sure we'll send this PowerPoint to you. But it's really exciting all that you can give your users access to from within miSecureMessages when you're leveraging IS. And really, I say it here, dipping into both the dynamic and static enterprise contact information. And like we were just saying, following all of those predetermined rules and escalation. Personalization, can't say it enough. A lot of great features that this brings to the table for both you and your organization, as well as potentially your clients, if applicable. Some more screens to see what it looks like on the mobile app. This is me going to that home page of mine that I had set up. You can see that it automatically reorganized itself for a mobile view. That directory search widget with the on-call assignments right below it. I could change my status on the fly. That includes the covered by status, which is forwarding messages to somebody else. Here's a sample script. This is a care team script. We put this logo in here, kind of like building a web page. You can really make it look the way you want it to look, be styled the way you want it to be styled. and direct people to put in the information that is pertinent for this type of message. And then behind the scenes, it's also leveraging all of that intelligence, all of that contact information that, again, could be static or dynamic, dipping into that potentially aggregate contact information, scheduling information, etc., to see who do I need to contact, how do I need to contact them, even present the users with some choices ahead of time if you want, and then do all of that fancy legwork behind the scenes afterwards, including if things don't turn out exactly the way you want and everybody doesn't look at their message right away, what do I do then? It'll take care of all of that as well. And then hopefully you know our support team. By now, you know that our support team is here 24/7, 365. We've got some contact information here for you. Don't forget your project manager, innovation machine, again, the beta customer team. Reach out to us if you have any questions. And trainers at mtelco.com. You can hit all the trainers at once, metaphorically speaking. Questions?
We do have a question. It's how does MySecure determine the priority of a message? And can the priority be determined by the IS script?
Sure. Yes, it could either be determined at the time of composing a message in miSecureMessages, as well as replying to a message within miSecureMessages, starting with server version 6.7. Each individual message that is sent, they'll be able to designate that as high priority or it's just normal priority by default. And then from IS, you could also set that priority for the message that's going to be received and have that be a high priority message received on miSecureMessages. And that could be done through scripting, that could be done through the simple message interface from IS, Infinity, etc. And that could be put in there
Great.
automatically to just know that it has to be high priority or a checkbox that someone selects with a script.
Okay, great. I'm not seeing any more questions. I did want to bring up some upcoming webinars just to remind everybody. So next Wednesday, we have the Genesis reporting and charting, which is the introduction of those two new features, and it's going to be presented by Kevin Beal and Gunther Knudsen from our software department. Then on August 6th, Colleen's going to be presenting the miSecureMessages options for care team messaging. This is a new application that we are currently developing and moving forward with. Then on August 14th, we have the introduction to the new web agent, which will be done by, again, Kevin Beal. And then Colleen is the busy gal on August 21st. She's going to be doing this presentation again, the miSecureMessages What's New. And then on August 28th, we'll have Jana Olson, who is a project manager, discuss how to migrate to contact architecture. So you can go to Tech Helper and register for those, or we are sending out email blasts with links to those registrations. I do have another question. Is it an announcement or a restriction that can be placed on reply to all options?
Is it an announcement or well, let me just show you live. How
Or a
about that?
restriction, okay.
It's so when we were taking a look at that slide, let me show you what exactly it looks like, just in case we don't have time for my reflector to work, my mirroring software. So when you're composing a message, you select your contacts, your subject, and then reply all is selected by default. But if you wanted to change that, you could say the message that I'm composing and that I'm about to send to everybody, I only want them to be able to reply to me, or I don't want them to be able to reply at all. And then everybody would receive the message, but they wouldn't be able to reply to it. High priority. Let's also send it to Kevin Mahoney. We'll just do both Kevins. And
Are
we'll
you
say that they
showing
cannot
something?
reply. Oh, I
Are
am,
you
and it's
showing?
not showing on this.
Okay.
There we go.
Nope.
Thank you.
There we go. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Here we go. All right. So I was having fun over here by myself. I selected Kevin Mahoney and Kevin Beal. Test. High priority. I did a toggle switch here. And then it was on the default reply all mode, but I switched it to none, which is this last one here. So I'm going to send them a message. You cannot reply to this announcement or one-way message. Oh, naughty Kevin. He doesn't have a device right now. And so there it is. And so when they receive the message, they're not going to be able to reply. It'll look like this. But they'll be able to see that I was the one who sent it. Does that answer your question? And again, you can do that from the web too. Or just reply to sender if I only wanted their replies to go to me.
Can that be set in IS for no reply to IS?
For no reply to IS. I'll have to check on that. I know the unsolicited. I believe what you would do in that instance, I think we technically allow for unsolicited responses. And I think what you would do from IS is put in a script or in the message that you're sending, responses to this are not monitored, or, that standard verbiage if you didn't want them to be monitored. But that's a good idea as well.
Okay, and then it looks like one more question. Can MySecure admin edit a user's custom off message?
Yes, sir, or ma'am. I made sure of that.
Okay, good. All right. I know we're a little bit over and everybody's got a full schedule, so we will end the webinar at this time. And we thank everybody again for your time. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to Colleen or to myself. This is Gloria Fruit. And again, we will be sending links to this recording out to you once we have the recording converted. So thank you again very much and have a good day.
Thank you, Gloria.